I am still trying to quantify, to explain, to better explicate a lot of times to my friends, many of my friends who aren't really, I don't know what the word is, not really with it regarding what's going on, but I will try nonetheless. There is a change, a drastic change that is happening in the landscape of American politics. And for those of us who have been following the travails, the ups and downs, the successes, the victories of, I think, the most powerful person on the media today, Candace Owens, especially in view of what happened with Russia, it changed even more. It dare I say, they kicked it up a notch again. We're going to be discussing this, and I want you to do me a favor. I understand that this may be difficult for somebody to understand why what many people perceive to be this almost a kind of like a fixation. For those people who are talking about Joe Kent and Thomas Massey and MTG or Trump or war or Iran or Bibi, it's also possible for you to say, what is this fixation that you have with Joe Massey, Joe Kent, Thomas Massey, Joe Kent, MTG, whatever. It's the same thing. There's this love for people who sometimes fail to understand how certain things are emblematic of something which is so big and so huge. I'm going to explain that. And again, I'm telling you, if anyone does not find this scintillating, believe me when I tell you this, I will not be offended if you go elsewhere. We won't be offended. It's not for everything, or for everyone, rather. The subject matter, this is not for everyone. And I understand why people don't really see this because, look, everybody's different. But if you want to really enjoy an analysis of what's going on, not only that, but Erica and how that is crumbling, how we're now moving to midterms and others, this is the place for you. Let me also tell you something. Not to wax catastrophic or scary, let me say to you, if you don't understand what is happening regarding the world, and they're saying around next month, I hope this is not true, regarding problems with oil and the availability of everything from fertilizers to food, if you aren't looking at preparation, emergency food, and something as simple as this, it's a kind of a silly name, this bug out bag, what you need if you have to move and go quickly, if you're not at least looking into this, you could be making one of the biggest mistakes of your and your family's life. And if you want the best available product, I've got just the answer. When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged, grab and go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today. One of the most fascinating subjects is going on right now. Dear friend, anybody who has even ventured into the world of history and how things change drastically, worldviews, has to look sometimes when things change. Years ago, speaking of Russia, there was this story, the purported story, and I believe it's true, that the KGB at the time wanted to see what the various thoughts were. This is before 91. This is before the fall of the Soviet Union. And they went out and they actually sent then KGB agents out, the story goes, to listen to jokes, to listen to what people were thinking, what they found funny, because oftentimes when people are joking about the government, it tells you a lot about what they're thinking, and it might presage, it might be a Pythonic augur, an augury, so to speak, of collapse. So when I see what is happening right now, I watch very, very carefully as to where the Republican and conservative parties are happening right now. How the Trump administration, people call it MAGA. I don't say that. But what people are saying and what people are thinking, and specifically, what is the role and what has been the role of Candace Owens, who is basically the mastermind, mistress mind, dare I say, of a new way of thinking. And it's something that is bigger than anything you could imagine. And it's moved so greatly by virtue of the trip to Russia. I'm telling you, I don't know this. I've not spoken with her, but if I sat down with her, I'll bet you she is a different person. She will say the following. I will bet anything on this. She will say, I can't believe I had to go to in essence, a European country. I had to leave my country to be understood. I can't believe I had to go elsewhere to be understood. I know this feeling better than most people. If you've ever done any kind of a commentary or dealt with people, up to and including staff, people who just answer emails, and you've dealt with people in foreign countries, European countries, people who have a history, people who understand geopolitical interconnectedness, you will never be able to come back and listen to the absolute stupefied, stultified disconnect of most people in this country. They couldn't tell you anything. When Glenn Beck is advanced as somehow the Wunderkind, you know we're in trouble. You know we're in huge trouble. When people like, and I'm going to tell you something, please watch the interview with Jimmy Dore and Tucker Carlson. Jimmy Dore is as we said, Joe Jug was, he's a suppository. He's a veritable repository of more information and facts that you need than many of us have forgotten. And if you want to, listen, if you want to be a part of this game, welcome aboard. If you don't, I understand. You might say, listen, I'll be honest, I really don't want to get him. I don't know who's who. I watch a little bit of Jesse Waters. I watch some Fox. I don't know. I kind of, I don't know. I understand. I understand completely. I understand completely. And what do we say, of course? We say to everyone who joins us, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to our world. And like I said, a lot of people don't really understand it. And they look at this, and it's so funny. They'll look at what's happening, and they'll look at the Candace thing, and they'll say, why are you looking at Candace? It's like, no, it's not about her. It's about what's happening. What is she saying? What is being advanced and suggested. It's bigger than that. See, this is the problem. We've had it so good in this country for so long. We've never had to worry about anything beyond our shores. We always believed in exceptionalism. We didn't care. In fact, many people misinterpret America first, or as I say, America only, for being disinterested. Oh no, I'm interested in what's going on in terms of the interconnectivity of geopolitical, issues. I just don't want to pay for them. I have no interest in supporting wars and destruction and mayhem and that sort of thing. Now, by the same token, there's something else that is happening right now. And I want you to understand. Listen to me very carefully. I know what you think. For those of us, a gift from heaven was a person called Erica Kirk. We couldn't believe what we were seeing in terms of Erica Kirk. Could not believe that this person even existed. This lying, mendacious, silly, little girl, make-believe, dimwit, very calculating thing entered our world. She was like a thing. Is she real? And people, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The insincerity, the callousness, the disconnect as to what is and isn't acceptable in terms of I guess what you might want to say, what was and wasn't acceptable in terms of lying on top of your husband's dead body 6 days later after the event of the elimination of your children's father, for you to do this giddy, hey guys, that famed Zoom call, to have created a recreation of the scene of where Charlie was eliminated, and to have that as a booth that you can do selfie. We never saw anything like it. We never saw. And then the coterie, this coven of lunatics in the world of, I guess you'd call it, I don't know, what? TPUSA. There were even more. The latest is this release of the secret message. Now, just hear me out. Where Charlie supposedly endorses, selects, appoints his wife to pick up where he left off. You got that? Of course, it never happened. It is such a fake, we don't even know where to start. And people are dissecting it, showing it, and it wasn't the Aspen meeting, it was another meeting, and the mole on his chin and the eye, and it's AI, and it's a segment versus the entire piece. And while it is, again, it's fun to kind of be the sleuth, to review this, it doesn't really matter because of the fact that she doesn't matter anymore. Don't take this the wrong way. It's still fun. It's a guilty pleasure. She is like Meghan Markle, or did you see Madonna dancing during Gay Pride in New York City? She is exactly my age. We were born in August of 1958. And if that's dancing, I'm Eleanor Roosevelt. I didn't even know what the hell that was. It was pathetic, and it was great, and it was tacky, and it was mean, and it was fun, but it's irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. But it was fun. It was fun. The Knicks won 2 games, 2 in a row. Irrelevant. Bread and circuses, but it's still fun. So what I'm saying is, I recognize these things, but let me just officially say Erica Kirk is dead. The issue, it doesn't matter. If she says Charlie, it doesn't matter because TPUSA is dead. The whole issue is that it doesn't matter whether she appoints her or not. Who cares? It doesn't matter. So what? So what? Whatever. It's done. It doesn't. It's fun. It's fun. It's junk food, but it doesn't matter. TPUSA, Charlie's Legacy, it's over. It's done. We're going to pick up Charlie's Legacy. Candace is going to pick up Charlie's Legacy. We're going to watch this Tyler Robinson case. We're going to do that. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. we have just, it's just fun now. It's just cheesy. You know, it's a guilty pleasure. Hey, just see what she did today? What? Oh my God. And then we have these sleuths who will attack it and show it frame by frame. And then TPUSA lies also. As we always say to our new members, welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you all for always joining us, being a part of our family, as it were. Now, what's really the issue? Oh, it gets good. What's really the issue is what is happening right now in Europe. And what is happening, what happened. This was Candace's debutante ball, her debut. She was formally introduced to the foreign stage. And she had to go to Russia. She had to go to Russia to be treated with the respect, with the solemnity, and the courtesy that she doesn't get in her own country. For the most part, as most people in this country are not smart enough to understand how smart she is. And I know what she's doing. I know what she's thinking. I'm telling you, I know it. On the flight back, she probably turned to George and said, I've just had I've been born again. I've been born again. This is not that she's going to move to Russia, but there are people out there who really understand something. There's a line from Bob Dylan. I want to get this carefully, say it correctly. And this has been the way I felt. Dylan said, I was born very far from where I'm supposed to be. And so I'm on my way home. I was born very far from where I'm supposed to be. So I'm on my way home. And that I know exactly what that means. And what Candace is doing is she is finding her way home. She's having, I will bet anything, I know what I'm talking about, epiphany light. I'm understood. I had to go to another place. I always knew I knew what I was saying. My friend, and a great friend of mine, Nat Adderley. Nat and his brother was Cannonball Adderley. And, the joke used to be cannibal. Well, the point was they said one time that he ate like a cannibal and somebody misinterpreted, thought they said cannonball. Anyways, long story short. So Nat, who passed away a while back, but Nat said that he was, knocking around and playing clubs and doing, as one time he came to Sweet Basil's in New York and I saw him there and it was good. And then at some particular point in his life, I don't know, it was years ago, he went to some place in Europe. And lo and behold, not only was there was almost like a museum, there was almost like a tribute. There was a museum, so to speak, in honor of him. He had to go to Japan or Switzerland or Sweden in order for them to appreciate his music. It took the Beatles and the Stones to introduce us to our music of the blues. Candace Owens is speaking right now, and she is being shot down left and right. And these U.S. aid alums are being told they're being let loose. Go after her and perpetuate this anachronistic, otiose, this useless, concretized, ossified, anachronistic, this meme, this ridiculous meme that suggests yet again that Russia is the enemy and they're out to hurt us and harm us and kill us, and that they're communists and that they want to, whereas Ukraine is no problem. The same people who say that you must hate Iran, you must hate them, they are the evil, they are the consummate evil, they represent all that is evil. And Candace says, wait a minute, why? I don't think there are. I think you're telling us whom to hate because of affiliations with other countries. Oh my God. She goes to Europe, basically, and tells the Russians, they say that's exactly right. And she feels like, oh my God. They understand it. They understand exactly what's going on. They understand it. They're smarter. They know more. I guess they have the equivalent of Jesse Waters, but they really know what's going on. They understand the intricacy of what's happening. And they're going crazy in this country. They're going crazy. And they're also realizing it doesn't matter. Larry Loomer, bless her heart, nobody gives a shit. She is the lunatic they drag out when all else fails. Oh, well, bring her out. She's associated with no one. Not the president, not President Trump, not nothing. Nobody will get. She is so mean to attack Candace's children, but in ways that shows a hate, an unregulated hate, a kind of she has no circuit breaker. Her anger goes 0 to 100 like that. There's no proportionality. They drag her out to say something. She's a novelty. People will like to see what she has to say because she's mean, but nobody really respects her. That's all we have. And you're going to see people left and right come out and just say, and the usual suspects, and you know who they are. They're bought and sold. And now we're saying, wait a minute, we have a new group of people. Candace, Joe Kent, Thomas Massey, MTG hasn't really entered the fray. Loads of people. New, and by the way, new comedians. I want you to watch Jimmy Dore. It's a masterclass. Jimmy Dore never got mean. Jimmy Dore never lost his mind. He was very good. He just, it was great. Jimmy Dore, Theo Vaughn, Theo Vaughn makes more sense. It's like through the eyes of a child. I'm not saying that to be in a pejorative way. I mean it in a good way. Through the eyes of a child. Through the eyes of through the eyes of somebody who appreciates innocence, who appreciates the absolute truth regarding what we're seeing. It's just incredible. Dave Smith, I don't see him as much. He was kind of getting a little bit strident, and you can't ever do this, but it's okay. He's very, very good. You have new people. You have a new force, a new group of people. Applause to Judge Napolitano, to the great Colonel McGregor, John Mearsheimer, Larry Johnson. Just go down the list. Pepe Escobar, an absolute Gerald Salenti. People have been around, kicking around. Alex Jones. Do you understand? This is the vanguard. This is Paris in the 20s and 30s. This is Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli. This is gypsy jazz. This is brand new. This is some of the most exciting stuff I've seen. It's incredible. You tell me you understand this. So it's not about Candace, but it's all happening. There's this move. It's a movement. And I've been kicking around for a while and I've never seen anything like it. You are seeing something that I never, ever, ever. It's like 9/11, our 9/11, how they squandered that. 9/11, everybody was for us. I told you. In Tehran, they had a candlelight vigil. This was very important. They had a candlelight vigil. It was the most important thing ever. And it was not only that, but Putin said, if I can help you, George, because I know we have our problem in the Caucasus. And by the way, he turned us or tried to tell us about the Tsarnaev brothers. The question is, can Candace receive a Nobel Peace Prize? That's not going to happen, but sure, yeah, but it's not going to happen. No. Nobel Peace Prizes are people like Obama. He had barely gotten into office, barely set up his desk when all of a sudden he was given this. No, this is the people who are responsible for this. People who are responsible for the war effort are never going to let anybody who is against this. This is the Western movement versus BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And BRICS, was it BRICS plus 5 plus, let me see, I've got this. Always check this. I could go into, you think Jesse Waters knows about BRICS? Do you think? BRICS is an intergovernmental organization comprising of 10 members. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates. And there are other people who are looking to join as well. That represents the non-Western coalition. Remember, they were going to do BRICS banks, BRICS cable, BRICS bank. Remember when that Malaysian flight blew up or something? And nobody really got to the bottom of that. Hillary Clinton made a vague reference as to the bank, BRICS bank, which was a very, very interesting thing, which I found fascinating. Candace has done more than Obama for world peace. At least in theory, one could argue, to be quite fair, a civilian is not able to advance legislation, and thank you, advance policy. A civilian can agree, maybe perhaps change the, I guess you might want to say change the texture, check the, change the, how do I say this? Change, the tenor, what is being said. Many people will tell you that what was critical during the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement was music, was entertainment, was rock and roll. That was very, very critical. So I'm not taking anything away from her in the least. What I'm saying is that this is a brand new era. There are people who want this. Let me go back to what I was saying about 9/11. Think about this. 9/11, everybody was for us. Then all of a sudden it changed. They saw right through this. PNAC, Project for a New American Century. There was the advance of the Wolfowitz and the Rumsfelds and the Pearls and the neocons and the torturers. And they said, oh, come on, for the love of God. Same thing happened with October the 7th. That will be one from the history books. How can you go? The world, what I thought to myself, I wasn't suggesting any kind of false flag or anything like that. But I used to think you could not possibly manufacture an event that inspired such a coalition of people in support of Israel than October the 7th. And then when Gaza started, it was a disaster. It changed everything, up to and including Bibi now facing certain indictment. So it's a very complicated message. So through this, you had two groups of people. You had the Fox News group who said, these are your marching orders. Do not repeat. Do not veer from them. If you want to be MAGA, if you want to play with us, if you want to play Republican, if you want to be part of CPAC, MAGA, whatever it is, these are your marching orders. You are never, ever, repeat, never, ever to suggest for a moment that anything, and I mean anything that is being done is not warranted, is not justified, is not understandable, and that Iran and Hezbollah and all these people deserve to be obliterated. And as far as Gaza goes, there ain't going to be no Gaza, and it is their fault. So don't feel sorry for the children. You know, the story is they had their choice. They voted them. You know the routine. Okay. This is it. It's still being done. Still being done. And that is going to haunt them like you cannot imagine. That has changed. It's like being for the Vietnam War. It's difficult for people to understand this. But nobody today says, Vietnam made a lot of sense. I'm glad we did this. Nobody says this. But there was a time when it did. And who has been at the forefront? Who has been at the tip of the spear? Candace. Do you understand this? I know you do. But I want you to make sure you understand what I'm saying. This is historic. And I'm going to say this again. I will bet you anything that as we speak, I will bet you anything that she turns to her husband and says, this is my what? My moment of clarity. This is my epiphany. This is my Saul on the road to Damascus. This is my, I had to go there. They understand me. I was treated with respect. They listened to me and they agreed. They understood the fragility of geopolitical machinations and this and all that's going on. I'm telling you. And yet we have here in these people there was this fellow, Dave Rubin, was speaking to a woman named Z. Oh, it's on my Twitter. Z. It was this Un-F America. Anyway, they were the ones who did this study that said that most of the, or a lot of the chapters at these TPUSA schools really didn't even exist. Anyway, Rubin got his dick handed to him. I mean, it was brutal. Benny Johnson and these hacks, they don't know it, because when you assume a position that you're either being paid to assume, you are cajoled into assuming, whatever you want to call it, you're never going to come across as being sincere, and people will never understand what you're saying. They will never grasp. They will never believe you because you don't have it. You've got to be able to live and breathe something and not memorize it. Remember Tim Pool? Whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to him? Remember him? The guy with the edge hat, with the beanie or whatever it was. Remember him? Whatever happened to him? Another one, too, who's as phony as you can believe, is Patrick Bet-David. He is as phony as the day is long. absolutely positively, and also not the brightest person in the world either. And he has these morons on this Adam. I can't even watch it. The only way I ever see, and to be fair, is if it's on some kind of a theme. Uh, you know what I mean? They don't have it. When somebody goes out and they assume a position, and they're able to say, so and so, Russia's evil, Iran is evil, this is evil, and you ask them why, and you can tell immediately, say, I don't know. That was not in my briefing. I was told to say this. One of the worst things in the world that ever happened to a lot of us, but one of the best things is Candace. And I know I am telling you, people are going to study what happened here. She is going to be a template. Watch what she does. I mentioned this the other day. This is, you rarely, and I'm asking you again, you rarely see somebody that so many people love. And I'm going to say something. And ladies, I mean, you know, I'm never going to let you down. I'm your biggest fan. So what I'm about to say, you might take the wrong way, and I don't want you to. But when women like somebody so much, that means something. Women love her. Let me say that again. When children meet somebody and they can like see, I'm not saying women are children, but I'm saying they can see through. When dogs can see through you. When a woman who is more allergic to bullshit than men, who are more aware, more vigilant, more focused on insincerity and lies and inauthentic people. When a woman likes somebody, that means more than anything you can imagine. And you know I'm right. It's absolutely 100%. It's absolutely critical. Can't say it enough. Can't say it enough. This is when, remember, it's not the people, remember PB Temple, I didn't believe them. There was this kid, this weird guy named Destiny. I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. There were some other people too. This is very interesting. Again, I keep referencing back. Jimmy Dore brought this up. Michael Parenti was he passed away, but he was a legitimate leftist. Is socialist, whatever you want to call it, but he was legitimate. He was the way Bernie Sanders used to be. He really believed in what he was saying. And to prove he was good, he was fired from virtually every position there was. Norman Finkelstein wiped out. Couldn't get tenure. That was a problem he had with the Dershowitz and others. Noam Chomsky, the voice of the left, he never missed a day of work at MIT. Why do you think that is? Why? Why do you think that is? Because he was a double agent. He played exactly the role. And people learn. Remember Jon Stewart? Again, please watch this interview with Tucker. Jon Stewart was doing okay until he made a big deal about the COVID thing. Remember Colbert? Colbert was really great when he did his kind of a takeoff of Bill O'Reilly. He was brilliant, but he sold his soul. And I'm telling you something. I can tell you, I'm never going to mention their names because some of them are friends of mine, and I don't think they don't need me to say it. But I could tell you. They don't believe the subject of what they're saying. They don't really believe it. They don't really believe it. I want to thank our dear friends of Scotland. We have a great Scottish contingent. Wonderful, wonderful people. And again, I say, sometimes you have to go to Europe and other places in the British Isles to get people to understand what's going on. And the multiplicity, the heterogeneity of listeners and followers it's such an honor. But let me tell you something. If you really don't believe it, see, Candace Owens believes everything she is saying. Candace Owens believes everything she is saying. I don't know if I can say this enough. I don't think if people really grasp this, but it's absolutely the truth. I've seen this before. There are people who say, I want to go out there. And I saw this. You don't know what this was like. In the old days, after Rush Limbaugh, everybody wanted to be Rush. So they came and said, oh, these liberals. I said, well, what is a liberal? I don't know. And they thought they could just come out and just say the, the words, say the nomenclature. That's all they thought. They thought they don't have to worry about anything other than just saying the stuff that, okay. We saw it during 9/11, and I remember seeing that. And what happens is I can see through it. You got to be careful. Theo Vaughn, I told you, Dave Smith is a little strident, which is okay. Please forgive me. Who is the comedian? Brilliant, heavy-set gentleman, used to wear the glasses. Funny, naturally funny. What is his name? Please. I'm having brain farts today. What is his name? You know what I'm talking about. Actually, one of the best political. What is his name? You know what I'm talking about. Big guy. What's his name? Come on, the first one. I know there's a delay from when I say Tim Dillon. Thank you. Absolutely so legit. He's not contaminated by his greatness. Dave Chappelle lost the edge. Very complacent. It's a very simple thing to do. Let me give you an example of something, which is Candace isn't going to do it. But let me give you an example. And you might not care about this, but it's true. When Howard Stern came, he was the anti-hero. He was the antimatter, so to speak. He was a guy who said, I'm married. My wife hates me. My daughters, whatever, can't stand me. I'm an alien. I live in the basement. I watch Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. I'm just a loser. I'm a loser. He used to say something like, I'm hung like a pimple. And, people loved him. And they rooted for him because he was one of them. That was the thing. I'm one of you. I'm one of you. Okay. Then he got big. Private parts and then the money. And he left his wife and went up with his Beth, whatever. And then he's in the Hamptons and he just lost it. And he's not the same anymore. He went Hollywood and they knew it. That's why if you want to see authenticity, people like Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, George Jones, no matter what he did, no matter how much money he made, he was real. And real. That's why I go back to what I'm saying. The very fact that so many women like Candace is a testament, because if women like you, it means everything. They see things at multiple levels, more so than men do. Sorry, but it's true. Women are far more critical, far more observant, far more discerning. Really true. Very, very serious. Far more aware of what's going on. And there's something about Candace which comes across. And she needs somebody to sit back and to watch and never talk to her and pretend that they're listening to her for the first time. And the moment she slips, I don't think she will, but if she ever does, they got to tell her this. When in the old days, when terrestrial talk radio, AM was king, when it was king, people would say, I want you to hear this new guy, usually a guy. I want you to hear him. And the real kind of the PDs, the real folks, would say, instead of saying, send me a tape, send somebody a tape. No, that's not it. Send me a tape. No. What they would do is they would say, let me go there. Let me drive around. I want to be in Akron. I want to be in St. Louis. I want to be in the town where this guy's number one. I want to hear what it sounds like in the car, live there. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I want to know what people see. What people, remember, when Candace comes back, watch how she's going to look. She is going to try to describe to you what she's feeling, and you can't. It's like, I have found my niche. They understand me. It's almost like, and believe me, she's understood here. Don't get me wrong. But there's no resistance. Isn't it funny? You've got to go to Russia, and they still say Soviet. It's not Soviet. To be understood, to accept freedom, to accept freedom, to accept freedom. Rick Sanchez is on RT. I've known him for years. He was a CNN. He had to go to Russia where he's accepted. And he's not an anti-American or any of that kind of stuff. No. Because remember one thing, which is the most important. Nobody ever wants you or anybody to sell out their country. But I want to say this a million times. Do not confuse government with country. Do not confuse government with country. Governments come and go. It was always America, but there was a Bill Clinton government, there was a Jimmy Carter, there was Obama, there was Nixon, there was all this other stuff. There was a time, each iteration, each flare is a different story. And that's what we're talking about. See, look at this. This is important. Look at this. Let me give you an example. This is the research. I love Candace. She has a beautiful heart and is so genuine. And I really pray for her and her family that they remain safe. That is it. Look at this. Another woman changing our country. Candace keeps it real. Look at this. This is the most, look at this. I've never seen so many. Monica's in the chat. Lionel is the real deal. Let me appeal to a female audience. And what I mean by that is, let me appeal to the female audience because that means that I'm getting my sincerity quotient, because I must be coming across real. I mean, we're not talking about looks or any, that kind of jazz. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about, the attraction is if somebody, when a woman says, I think you're speaking the truth, it means more than anything because they're a tougher audience. Because as I've told you this before, women, it might be hardwired. Women are absolutely, positively, 100% a different species. It's like a house cat compared to a lion in the field. Yeah, there's some similarities. It's a different story altogether. That's why it infuriates me so much when some people are saying, "Oh, I'm a man who somehow is a woman." No, you're not. Don't even desecrate. That's sacrilege to think that you could be a woman. You don't have it. You don't have it. Have you ever noticed this? Let me ask you a question. This may sound crude, but it's the truth. Have you ever noticed that there exists, the prototypical the almost the stereotypical gay man, sachets, the way people used to always, they would call them limp-wristed. They exist only in that iteration. No woman acts like that. Have you ever seen a woman act like a gay man? Never. Ever. When a woman goes into to buy something, let's say, do they act like somebody from, Runway, whatever that Tim Gunn? No. That is an affectation. That is an artificial, created, stereotypical iteration that doesn't exist in the real world. Nobody acts like this. Nobody. Women don't act like that. Women are serious, very, very serious. And you may not put it this way. This. Men are more politically superficial than women. But if you can get somebody who says, "I believe in that guy," that's it. That's it. Because they can cut through the bullshit faster than anybody else. And listen to what women say about Candace. And let me also tell you something. And I hope you don't matter. Oh, look who it is. Rob Doak, ladies and gentlemen, a new member. Thank you, my friend. You know what's also great about women in this? And please don't take this the wrong way. Women don't like other women for the most part. I'm sorry. Women will tell you that the people in their life that have been fucked over by women are their own worst enemies. Women, you know it's true. If you go to a job, the people you got to watch, so the backstabbers are going to be women, not men. You don't stick together. There's no sisterhood of anything. Nonsense. Absolutely not. Zero. So they learn from the time you're a little girl, from the time you're betrayed by your first friend. You got to be very careful. That's why women don't have a lot of friends. Women don't have a lot of maybe more superficial friends than men do. They're a very fascinating subject. But what I'm telling you is that when they see Candace, first of all, they say, "I like her." I say, "Wow, they like a woman?" Yes. Let me ask you something. Ladies, can you think of anybody else other than Candace that you feel this attraction to? Megyn Kelly? No. No, you can see through Megyn. Megyn's a nice girl, but Megyn Kelly is like, she's still trying to be. Have you ever seen this Maureen Callahan? Maureen Callahan is funny as hell. She is brutal. And she makes no pretenses as to what she's about. She's legitimate. She is like the snide, sarcastic, brilliant. You don't want her coming after you. There's some really nasty stuff. But then there are people, listen to this. You ready for this? Listen to this. I'm going to really make this complicated for you. Please don't take this the wrong way. Women are rarely great at comedy. Now, I'm not going to be one of these people like Jerry Lewis. I'm not going to say women aren't funny. I'm not going to say that. It's a different thing. Listen to what I'm telling you. I've seen this. I've done stand-up. I know what I'm talking about. It's a very aggressive, very male thing, stand-up. And the women, have you noticed today? Listen to what I'm saying. The women who are supposedly the top draws tend to go out there and figure, I'm going to out-filth the men. I'm going to beat them to the punch. I'm going to show them that I can be more crude than they can. Because that's what I think they like. I don't know. Humor, please don't get mad at me. Humor to a woman is different than humor to a man. It's that important. Ladies don't collect jokes. Men are. It's a different modality. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm not saying that. When you mention Tim Dillon, ask a man and a woman, what do you think about Tim Dillon? Men will say he's funny. Women will say, I like him. Not because he's funny. He's telling the truth. You don't even realize it. He's telling the truth. Yeah, it might be funny, but you look at what he's saying is big. I mean, if he said something that was exaggerated, just because it was, quote, funny, unless there's some authenticity there, you won't even listen to it. You won't get the first base, so to speak, with it. It's a different item. That's the thing that's so different about Candace. I can't say it enough. People should be studying this, the psychology of this. You're missing the point. This is she is if you can go out and you can say, I've got people will normally say this, that the talk radio, that the political, the political audience is primarily male. It's not good. Not that loyal, very tentative, not really there. Women stick with you forever. They will stick with you forever. And there's something about Taylor Swift. There are many people. I thought Taylor Swift was a genius. Taylor Swift, you can laugh all you want. She would fill concerts, fill stadia. She was unbelievable. Like something I never even thought was possible. Incredible. Absolutely, positively incredible. Unbelievable. There's nothing like her. I've never seen anything like this. And then all of a sudden, you notice? Changed. Sold out. Once again, married in Madison Square Garden. Come on, you had it. You had us going there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nobody's advising you. Same thing with Erica. Nobody did. Nobody. Let me ask you something. Ladies, forget the man for a minute. Ladies, when did you go south with Erica? What was the moment? Rephrased. Yes or no? When Charlie first was eliminated, didn't you feel sorry for her? When you saw her, didn't you think, oh, I did. Didn't you think, oh, I didn't know anything about her. Oh, the kids. Oh, I didn't know I never heard her talk. Didn't you think that? Oh, poor thing. My heart went. How could he not go? This is when our first instinct said, this is a widow. Remember that? Remember? What was it that changed it? The casket. Ditto for that. The casket. The moment she opened her mouth. Well, that's true to an extent. The casket. The casket. Somebody said this last night. I want you to tell me the other person, Princess Di. Oh my God. And Princess Di, interestingly, was really screwed up. This was a woman who was, and screwed up probably because of Charles. This is a woman who was a little bit of a flake, a little crazy, a little crazy. She threw herself down, remember the stairs, and almost killed Wills. And she had that one doctor, that neurosurgeon, that's Egyptian, whatever it was. She was batshit crazy. But you sensed there was something in her that was legitimate, that was like pushed to that. Remember? Remember how you felt? Remember when she died? Remember that reaction and how the Queen didn't, for like a week or a month or whatever it was, didn't acknowledge it? I mean, I thought, oh my God. Am I the only one who understands this? No, of course people saw this. Why did people see this? They felt this. Women are able to see through all of the nonsense, all the BS, all the contraptions and all of the layers and the strata and the veneers, and they're able to see this one's good, there's something there, this one isn't. Same thing with Theo Von. You know who else is like that? Is that country music singer, Ella, whatever her name is. Absolutely reminds me of Dolly Parton. They love Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton theoretically was fake because she made fun of her, the gargantuan boobs and all this kind of stuff. She absolutely, positively, 100% showed you exactly. And people loved her. Loved her. Loved her. Loved her. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? See, I could study this stuff all the time. I want to know what happens, why brands work, why fads happen and lose and go away. What is it? What is it that makes people, and why is it so different for women in politics? It's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult nut. Very, very difficult. The hard time was Marjorie Taylor Greene had a little bit of we're not really sure about her. You know who was very good? Who I think scores very well with women, who's got to go someplace, is Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, you kind of believed her. You believed her. You believed her. She said something which is the most important. You believed her. You notice that? What was that? What was the reason? This is what we should be talking. This is it. And one of the things I would love, so help me God, not to be on the Candace fact team, but the image team. I love the psychology. I love the propaganda. I love to watch how people are reading somebody. What is it? And always remind her. And not that she's going to do it, but the moment she veers off, nope. She never talks about her wealth. She never talks about it. It's not it. It's about her kids. It's about this. It's about the issues. It's about her husband. It's about it. That's it. I'm going to go to Rome because I'm going to get confirmed. I'm going to do this because I'm on my faith. I'm going to do this because I'm going to check on She's legitimate. Whereas Erica couldn't do it. She wants to have the lame and the bit in the hair and the extensions and all that bullshit. She because there was nothing there to begin with. There was nothing there to begin with. She wasn't very smart, and she was trying still to create this image of herself which didn't exist. It's fascinating. Princess Di, different story. She was legitimate through all that other kind of stuff. I'm telling you, I hate to say it, I'm going to say it. Dolly Parton. When Dolly did Dollywood, oh my God, they loved her. They went crazy for her. And it goes to show you how this is something which is the most important. And by the way, this issue goes for Tucker, it goes for Jimmy Dore, it goes for Tim Dillon, it goes for Chappelle, it goes for everybody. Try very carefully. If something brought you on board, don't change this. Have you ever been to a restaurant and they get big? And why did they get big? Because they did something. They had a chicken parm that was great, or they had a pizza that was great. But no, they had to get bigger. They wanted to expand, and they lost it. Lost it. There are things who, even McDonald's had a hard time with the McRib thing. You can't change things. You got to realize, what is it? How are you connecting with people? And I'm telling you, not only is Putin or Russia or the West, but people are looking at her and they're saying, this is our new direction. We're going to capture the hearts and minds of Western civilization, of Western voters, of Western youth using her. What does she do? She's smart, she's polite, she's endearing, people like her, and she speaks the truth. And she's sincere, and she's authentic. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like, well, no kidding. Believe me, nobody knew to do this. Nobody knew to do this. And those people say, I don't care about Candace. Like, you're missing an opportunity here. Nobody has this. You think Ainsley Earhart or Harris Faulkner or any of those women on the 5 or the 4, I haven't watched that in a long time. I don't even know their name, but you remember that? There's nothing, there's no. You think Tommy Lahren is able to convey this? No. Why? Same message, maybe. There's something, I don't know what it is. It's like there's something that's, again, I'm going to give you these analogies because I love analogies. I love metaphor. I love it. I call it the macaroni and cheese theory. When I was a kid, Kraft macaroni and cheese in the blue box with that uranium, that orange powder thing you pour, I guess it's cheese. I don't know what the hell it was. You throw some milk in there and that's it. And that's it. You boil the macaroni, you throw a little milk in there, and you throw this powder concoction. And it was like, and it was wonderful. Wonderful. And then somebody says, no, you know what? I'm going to change the noodles. No. I'm going to put bacon bits. No. Sour cream. No. And then pretty soon they veered off and they lost the gravitational pull of what it was. They did it. Dolly owned and spoke of her plastic surgery. Oh, yes. You're right, Marianne. She did it and mocked it and loved it. And there was something so incredibly, so important, so critical, so critical. Anyway, my friends, that is Mrs. L. That is my beloved. I must talk to her. Not that you're not important. Look at this one. Our good friend says, Mamacita says, Erica appears to be chameleon trying to fit into different scenarios to benefit herself. I can't find a constant core identity. Absolutely. What are you speaking of? You're talking about this notion of real. And you're talking about real and authentic. And that's the thing. And what I'm telling you, I want everybody to understand this, what you are seeing with with Candace is a movement. She's never going to run for office. You don't have to run for office. But you have to implement people with the idea, with the passion. She can do more for America first, or what I call America only, than any politician there is. Joe Kent will be far more important as an individual citizen. So is Massey. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene. They may not have the dynamics. They may not be able to convey. Let's say Rand Paul. Rand Paul is no, I don't know. Rand Paul he's a phony. He's not what you think he is. His father, Ron Paul, was the real McCoy. The real McCoy. Say Noam Chomsky, fool. Bernie Sanders, phony. In any event, I loves you. I loves you, folks. I'll be on again tonight at 2 a.m. We're going to meet later tonight. By the way, the late night stuff, 10 o'clock, is fantastic. So I'm going to do that one. Also, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the support. Thank you for this. Stick with Candace. I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I will not. When she hits her home, she does her regular studio, watch. I'm telling you, she's going to be trying to convey to you. She's been reborn. She has been reborn. Our good friend Zaman says, a truth tsunami. Absolutely. A truth tsunami. I'm telling you. And you have been incredible. You have been, remember, what you're watching right now is what we are, or the rudimentary, the interstitial, abecedarian platforming of a revolution, of a reform party. I mean it. I mean it like you can't believe. I love you, my friends. Have a great and a beautiful day. Enjoy the day. Listen to some great music. Spend time with your family. Do something just stupidly fun. I mean, just fun. Do something fun today. Something irresponsible. I mean, not irresponsible, but something that grown-ups shouldn't be doing. Ride a pony. Stick a feather in your cap and call it macaroni. I don't give a damn what it is, but do something and enjoy this thing called life, because remember, this is not a dress rehearsal. All right, my friends, we love you. See you later. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dad.